good morning, good afternoon, whatever it is, wherever you are. It's me again, Jen. Hello! And I am playing with the Nicoletta Ceccoli tarot deck this month. And I'm not even going to pretend to draw cards ahead of time. I am totally doing something different for these next 4 videos. So if you haven't seen the other ones yet, or this is the first one you're watching, look out for the other ones. I am going to take and pick apart the kings and queens of this deck because it is super confusing and even I have not figured out which one is the king and which one is the queen. I've got a pretty good idea, but what I kind of like to do is if anybody else is like well versed in the tarot, or even if you're not and you just want to chime in on this, maybe we can figure out together which ones are the kings and the queens before I really start doing some massive research and picking this apart on the internet. So I'm starting with the swords, and I will show you why I can't figure out which is which. Number one, they're both little girl dolls, or at least representative of little girl dolls as far as I can tell, with the long hair and the dress and all of the things that typically would symbolize more feminine qualities. So the crown, this one is very crown-like, I think, but so is this one. And while this one could be kind of a tiara, it also makes me think of the crowns that are on the chessboard, and how on a chessboard, your crowns on your kings are really, really elaborate and kind of have that pillowy effect to them. And that's what I'm getting from this. So we can tell they're both swords because, yeah, there's a sword at the top. And this one is actually wearing a crown on her head, and the other one is just sort of eating cake. So I'm not so sure. So to pick it apart, I would like to say that usually the king of swords is depicted with a sort of sword in hand, and yes, there is sometimes a book or some sort of strategy device, maybe maps or something like that, are depicted with that king. And I get that with this one because she's writing like all these letters and all these edicts sort of thing. Also, there's a horse running off in the background. I don't know. There's a lot going on in this card. So there's letters floating around. She's clearly writing. There's a lot of concentration on her face, and it is definitely an air symbol card or an air element card and suit because her hair is flying away and the papers are flying away. There's a lot of wind, energy, and movement in this card. The other card has the character eating cake. And yes, I guess the knife is a sword, but there's no wind represented. The colors represented are more of fire rather than air, which air is usually yellows, so she's not doing that. The cake is missing an eye. Oh, she's eating the eye. That's what's on there. There's a very stern sort of look on this one, so the Queen of Swords usually represents a woman who works well behind the scenes and has seen some rather rough times. This is usually a person who learns from experience. So learning from experience usually doesn't mean you had an easy life. It usually means you had a rough ride getting to where you are and you worked hard to overcome a lot of things. So having your cake and eating it too, maybe? I don't know. I'm not getting that from this, but maybe. So yes, card number 1. She also looks more mature. So maybe it's a maturity thing where like this is kind of more a princess who hasn't really learned everything yet, and this is the queen who knows everything. So there really isn't a king card. I will say the knights and knaves, the only way I could tell the difference is the knights have a little horse down at the bottom and the knaves have a little helmet at the bottom. That's the only way I could tell the two apart. And that was the only way that I could figure maybe there is a discernment between these two. But princess and queen, I don't know. King and queen, both queens, I don't know. So if you have any idea on these two, and again, I will be doing every other one of them as well, just to see if maybe we can take a vote on which is which. And yeah, have fun with it. If you're like, nope, that's definitely the king, because I can see the throne, and they are definitely writing out edicts and things like that. So that's the most mature of the cards, maybe, because usually the king is mastery over whatever the suit is. So mastery over intellect and action and strategy, I guess, yes. And then the queen is usually still kind of a more nurturing role because it is more feminine energy. So I don't know. You tell me. And, either leave comments on, Facebook and all those things or on the video itself. Either way, until next time, stay safe, stay healthy, stay happy, and I'll see you again real soon.